cat is in the room, don't panic, I'm in the booth. The track is a welcome through. In your ear, hard managed to keep it true. So hearing this and the factions have been improved. I wanna share all family and its gloom, the tragedies and the doom, how I'm actually living through. My biggest fear, God answer to all I do. I'm panicking and abused, and it's savage and man, it's cruel. See the fear parts damaging, know the truth. My daddy was hitting clues when he had me when I was two. And my peers laughed at me and they were rude. Had acne with all the crews, wasn't happy and all I lose. So yeah, I was angry and all confused, and channeling all my moods through tantrums I called my room. I've engineered false happiness is my proof. It's cancerous through my juice, no sampling here is soon.
Yo, what's good people? Debut album Before the Press. What you just heard was actually the single off it called The Last of a Dying Breed. If you don't know my name by now, allow me to reintroduce myself again. Cata-Lust. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the album and the journey. I'm going to be sharing a few tracks that mean to me. We could go through the whole album just depending on how I feel. But I think what's important is you guys get to know a bit about me. Half the time people are like, yo, Cata, your lyrics are dope. I just missed that line. What does that mean? And like, or yes, there was a double entendre there, or there was a punchline there that completely missed me. So I think this is an opportunity for some of us to get into that. And if you got questions, like hit me up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, Cata-Lust TV. Cata-Lust TV. Subscribe to that. But basically, if we were to look at the first two lyrics, let's get it started. The cat is in the room. I'm here. Don't panic. I'm in the booth. The track is a welcome tune. So. And it was basically like, how do I get people to understand that, oh man, I actually thought about this album in the first 2 to 3 bars. And I actually wrote that about 2-3 times, this verse up 2-3 times, because it wasn't like quite clicking that my audience or my listeners gonna actually get the fact that they're actually listening to the album right now. And it is a debut album. I mean, the beat is insane, so I think those 3 bars were really, really important to me.
In your ear, hard managed to keep it true. So hearing this and the factions have been improved. I wanna share all family and its gloom, the tragedies and the doom, how I'm actually living through. My biggest fear, God answer to all I do. I'm panicking and abused, and it's savage and man, it's true.
Those bars were like really, really pivotal in getting people to understand that. But then I go on to say, in your ear, heart managed to keep it true. So hearing this in art, the factions of him improved. So that's what I want to do, man. Capture your mind, capture your heart. And I also want to show improvement from where I've come from. With that being said, I mean, I'm an artist who's collaborated with a lot of artists in my past, been part of groups. And I think this was very important for me to actually just share the fact that it actually is a solo album, and it's not as easy as just waiting for your homie to like jump in on the second verse and you just have to write a 16. This time 80% of it is me. So that's what I want to capture, your ear, your heart, and showing how much I improved through that. Jumping straight through to I want to share all family and its gloom, the tragedies and the doom, how I'm actually living through. My biggest fear, God answer to all I do. I'm panicking and abused. It's savage and man, it's cruel. So that's really I think that's a summation of, if 4 bars were to explain who I was. It's all of that. I fear God. I've got a story to tell through my family, because that's where I get most of my inspiration, good and evil. We all have that. So I think a lot of that transcends and comes through the album, where I talk about my family, things that bother me, things that don't, and also like the bad parts too. I've got a track on the album called Bullshit, talks a bit about that, but we'll get into that later. So I think that what's important about those bars for me is like what defines me as an artist, and I think that's just a bit of an inclination of, hey, he is a family guy, but family is sometimes not as great as all seems, and it's just another part of the story which should interest you as well.
Happy and they were rude, had acne with all the crews, wasn't happy and all I do. So yeah, I was angry and so confused and channeling all my wounds through tantrums I call my room.
Another part about me, I think that I had to kind of recognize about myself throughout this album was the things I didn't like about myself and the things that people used to say about me when I was growing up, how I felt about things like my weight, my confidence, and how that affected me. And it was interesting how I was. This was the last song on the album I wrote, and it was one of the most difficult because I had to talk about what you're going to experience throughout the rest of the album. So, but I had to be honest as well. So I think that these next few bars hit me quite nicely. It's like, and my peers laughed at me and they were rude, had acne with all the bruise, wasn't happy and was aloof. So yeah, I was angry and all confused, channeling all my moods through tantrums I call my room. So that's how I dealt with it. Like I would either write in a room or just sit in a room angry. And that was after a day of like being bullied or a day of like kids making fun of me because of my weight. So the ambiguity within this verse is that although there's a lot of rhyme patterns in it, there's also quite a deep story in it, saying that look, this is what I actually went through. This is what I've been feeling, and I can't wait to tell people about it because this is hopefully gonna help somebody. All right, cool, man. That was just a few bars that I thought I'd share off the album, and it's the intro, "Last of a Dying Breed." Really a dear track to me. The beat is insane, as you heard. Shout out to Tone Jones as well, man, who actually put some effort into that beat. I've only gone through a verse. And there's another verse on this track. Listen to it 3 or 4 times. Holla at me, hit me up in my DM. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you've gone through. I think that's the basis of this album. Remember, it's called Before the Press. It's the story of me before any fame, light, if any. But it's definitely something I want to share with everybody. On my link in my bio, it's everywhere, out on every platform. Cata-Lust is the name. Before the Press. Subscribe.